We were just talking about people are on earth to annoy you. Annoying thing happened while I was filming was my alarm went off. And that was annoying. Let's get back on with the story. We're talking about 3 ways to get what you want. And we talked about the story and the lessons I learned from the year I lost $1 million, where encouragement, accountability, and small next steps are what you need to get what you want. We talked about how you need encouragement like you need air to breathe. And that means other people need it too, because people are the same. We are all hopelessly insecure. We are all hopelessly self-centered. And on channel WeFM, what's in it for me? And it takes an act of divine intervention, the fickle humor of the universe, or the force to get us off channel WeFM and on the channel WeFThem. What's in it for them? And encouragement and how it works will inspire you to encourage one another. Be an encourager, make ripples. And let me tell you how this works. Go back to that morning on 2008. I'm out on my pier, and that dark morning. Stars are out there. The moon is sparkling off the water. As I look across the lake, I see the capital of Wisconsin. The reflection is in the water. The city lights are twinkling. And I go from an anxiety attack to peace. And I start to understand that I need encouragement in order to survive. There's a rock sitting by my feet. Ripples go out from the rock. Those ripples just go on endlessly. And I think about our interactions with people and how this metaphor is used. That when I encourage a person, they can go home and encourage their family. And perhaps they have someone in that family who goes and encourages someone else, and so on. These ripples of encouragement go out into the world. They go on for generations. You never know what interaction matters. Actually, every interaction matters. And yet, let me shrink this metaphor down slowly to you, or smaller, into a bowl of water or anything that has sides. And you drop that rock in there, bloop, and the ripples go out. What happens when those ripples hit the side of the bowl? That's right, they bounce back. And that's how encouragement works. You get back what you give out. Now, that doesn't mean that when you encourage somebody who clearly needs his encouragement, and they are annoying you, that you're going to get encouragement right back, or even in the same manner, or even the same day. Yet it's a spiritual law that what you start sending out in the world will return to you. Usually, not in the time frame you want, and quite often not from the people that you want. I was calling my mother last week. Yep. Hey, Mom. Yep. Really? Yeah, your book club's going well? Yeah. Oh, hey, did you get that link I sent you about the bestseller that I'm writing? Yeah, what did you think about it? What? You didn't even look at it? Well, take a look at that, will you? What do you mean, what am I doing? I'm writing my first New York Times bestseller. My mom's laughing at me? My mother's laughing at me? No. No wonder. No wonder I understand this encouragement thing, because apparently I didn't have it growing up. So don't expect to get encouragement from your family. Family dynamics, that's a whole nother book. We'll work on that later. The point is, life is messy. You go back to those chickens that we have. Chicken poop everywhere. in your way to get what you want. You need encouragement like you need air to breathe, and so does everyone you encounter. Be an encourager. Make those ripples, because life is messy, just like I find from those chickens. Now, I remember sitting in the upper room of my home. Must have been the summer of 2010. And I saw something out of the corner of my eye. I was in the middle of talking to my wife. Honey, how's your day? Yeah, great. Isn't it great that we can just have this conversation without the kids? I know, I love our kids too, sweetie. It's just nice to have a little quiet time. Yeah, I agree with you. It is nice. What is that? I just saw something brown and fluffy go up and down. What? Is that a bird? Is that a plane? What? Why, it's Super Pet launched in the air like a rocket and falling to the earth. I walked over to my window to see my son, Caden, then 3. And he's standing on a trampoline, not standing, mind you, jumping on a trampoline with a chicken. At that time, we had 4 new pet chickens: Lady, Cinnamon, Sugar, and General. She preferred General Custard. And I ran down. Caden, what? I got to give him my best mean dad look. That's a good parenting technique. What are you doing? I see you're launching a chicken in the air. Dude, you have got to promise me never to launch a chicken in the air again. All right, fist bump. Promises from a 3-year-old? They don't mean much. How do we get these chickens as pet? Well, at the Suslick household, pet chickens are not enough. I came home one night to find my family building an egg incubator. We're going to have to hatch them. Now, the good news was that apparently the chicken as a pet idea is popular. My wife couldn't find any chicken eggs. Talk about a woman who gets what she wants when she wants it. Robin Suslick, she's that woman. Well, the bad news was that my wife had a friend who had another friend who had a friend on Facebook who was giving away free chickens. I came home the next night, I pulled in the driveway, and we have one of those rainbow PlayStations, you know, one of those giant swing sets with slides and swings, I guess they're called. And they had taken the rainbow PlayStation and turned it into Rainbow Chicken Coop. I remember that first morning after we had chickens. Bark! Bark! Turns out, hatching hens can match a rooster for vocal variety. Then, a few days later, I hear this knock at our door. What? Why, hello, officer. Yeah, it's the police, guys. What? Yes, I do see you have a chicken in your arms. Although, I'm not sure which one that is. Wait, no, actually, that's my wife's chicken, Robin! Apparently, one of our chickens, I think it was Lady, got loose and ended up meeting Dorothy, an 85-year-old gray-haired, sweetest lady ever. Oh, yeah. Not so sweet on the chickens. In her flower garden, digging up worms. What else did we learn from the chickens? Life is messy. As I said, we taught the children that there is chicken poop everywhere. I remember a time that there was chicken in a bucket, and that had nothing to do with KFC. and everything to do with a 3-year-old in a garage with some chickens in a bucket. Once, I put a can of Raid on my wife's chicken coop. She comes out screaming at me because I had violated her organic chicken status. Oh, and then there was this other time. We were eating dinner, and our window in our home overlooks the backyard of the Lake Monona Business Center. And there's a duck out on our pier. Well, and I asked Caden, our 3-year-old, remember, my son, my little warrior who's almost a man right now at 5. And I said, Caden, can you go off and shoo that duck? Sure, Dad. Off he goes. Where is that boy? Huh, it's been a while. What? That duck is still on the pier. I'm going to go find Caden. I'll be back. Caden. Caden. Oh, he's over there by the pool. What? I sent Caden off to shoo a duck off the pier. I go in the backyard and I find him next to our swimming pool. And he's taken one of our chickens and placed it in the pool. I ask for a duck off the pier and I get a chicken in the pool. Do chickens even swim? So when you ask me if life is messy, I will tell you that life is like a chicken on a trampoline with a 3-year-old. Because when I saw that chicken on the trampoline with Caden bouncing up and down, every time the chicken would land and try to get his feet underneath him, Caden, like life will do to us, would take a giant leap and launch him in the air out of control. And then he would start flapping, thinking he was an eagle, only to have gravity pull him down. What a metaphor for our lives. You need encouragement like you need air to breathe, and you need to be an encourager. Now, encouragement without accountability is what I would call entitlement. And there's 2 parts of accountability that relates to getting what you want. Now, to get what you want, you need encouragement. You want to encourage other people. Yet you also need accountability. And you want to hold other people accountable to you so they don't suck the life out of you. And then you have to hold yourself accountable. Let's go with holding yourself or holding others accountable first. Because you want to maximize your time, right? You have things to do, places to go, and people to see. You want to get what you want. In order to do that, you need time. And I remember back when I was a young leader, people would come into my office. Yes, welcome, Sally. I am the almighty leader, and I basically know it all, so just tell me what's going on, okay? Yep, that does sound like a problem. That's a big problem, and I am the leader, so I will take care of that problem. Great, let me have that problem, okay? Great, yep, get out of here. I'll take care of that problem. Yep, I'll take care of it. Yep, Bob, yes, come on in. Come on. You have a problem too? Great. Put your problem down. What's the problem? Forget it. I'll just take care of that. I don't have time to explain to you. Go and get things done. And yes. And pretty soon, I would have an office full of problems. Now, I read a book once that described problems as monkeys. And these monkeys are on people's backs. And so people will come into your space, your home, your work, your community group, and they'll have these monkeys, these problems on their back, and they'll drop them off to you. Now, as a young leader, I made a mistake. I had an ego. And ego stands for edging God out or edging growth out. And so when I saw their problems, number one, I was arrogant enough to think that I could fix it all, that I knew more than them, and I didn't take the time with people to empower them so they could solve their own problems. And people were more than happy to leave their monkeys in their office. And pretty soon I would turn around and I had this zoo in my office, and it was full of monkeys, and I had no bananas. And I do like bananas. I like apples better, but that's a whole other story. Well, what I discovered in this monkey book is that when people drop off their monkey in your office, welcome them. Look at their monkey and say something like, what is the problem? How do you feel about this issue? It's important here to know communication styles and use the right words. For more direct people, you might want to use a question, what do you think the problem is? For those expressive type people who like bananas and apples, you might want to say something like, how do you feel about this issue? And then you shut up. Really? Do you feel that's the problem? So what you're saying is Barb and marketing failed to get you the report on time. Interesting. All right, well, have you thought of that in this and the other thing? Okay, good, good. Well, what are 3 possible solutions to this monkey that you see in front of us today? No, go ahead, take some time to think about it. Yeah, I know, no one's ever asked you that question before. It's amazing, isn't it? Well, and that's my fault, I'm sorry. But I had this huge ego, and I thought I had enough bananas to feed these monkeys, but apparently I don't. So let's talk about your monkey, and let's come up with some bananas, some ideas to solve this problem. Okay, good, good. All right, now, here's a big question for you. What one idea out of everything we discussed in our few minutes here are you willing to do to take care of this monkey? Because what I know about you is you have what it takes. I believe in you, and I know you can take care of this on your own. And shut up. Okay, great. Do that. Let me know how it goes, and if you get stuck or have any other questions, call or email me, or just come right back in here, and we'll take the next step together. All right, off you go. Remember, you have what it takes. I believe in you, and I know you can get it done. Fist bump, boom, yeah. All right, that's one radical monkey, unprocessed, and we call it unprocessed because there's no way you're going to be able to systematize people. People are messy, much like chicken poop. I'm not calling people chicken poop, but people are messy like chicken poop, okay? You got it. Well, what is that going to do for you? Number 1, it's going to free up your time. Number 2, you're going to teach people to think. And number 3, you will empower them to get things done. Things will start running better without you, which is important. Why not? You shouldn't have an ego in this. And that's great. Your job is to surround yourself with talent and then develop that talent to a higher level so you can go off and do what you want to do. And this will reduce stress, remove aggravation, and end conflict at home, at work, and in your community group. Wow. It's powerfully simple. Take some practice. And in some of our material, you'll find, I think it's 5 steps on how to learn. So you're going to have to practice this. Give it a little bit of time because it's going to be uncomfortable. But take that one radical unmonkey system and change your life and change the life of others. When you empower them to think through and solve their own problems. Pretty soon, you'll have people calling you going, hey, Bob, just wanted to let you know that Sally really messed up over here. We had this problem, and I thought the 3 possible solutions were A, B, and C. I chose B. I ended up getting it done. I just wanted to loop you in case you heard about it and you understand what I did. Do you think there's anything else I could have done? And you'll be like, wow, I now have the time to get what I want. This team is amazing. All right, so that's holding other people accountable. And you can understand that, right? How many of you have people in your life that are just sucking the life out of you? Use the monkey, unprocessed, to solve that. Okay, what about you? Are you committed to what you want to do? Or do you prefer to do what you want to do when you want to do it? Because usually when I ask people what they want, they'll say, I want to do what I want to do when I want it. Really? Well, why aren't you 600 pounds then? Because if you want to do what you want to do, you'd probably just eat all day, sit on the couch and watch TV. No, what I know about you is you are committed to getting what you want. And getting what you want is simple, yet sometimes, always, continuously takes time, energy, and effort to get. And you just need to hold yourself accountable mixed in with encouragement and small next steps to get what you want. Now, the way accountability for you works is part A is you need to do what you say. You need to arrive on time and even be early in everything you do. And then give yourself some grace because you are going to mess up on all that. And so the simple thing to do, and we'll play along with this, so I'm going to have you repeat some words here, is let's go back to that pan washing situation with my wife. And I might say something like, I'm sorry, honey. I used some harsh words there. Will you forgive me? So let's start with you. I'm sorry. Repeat after me. I'm sorry. Okay, you don't have to insert anything there. Will you forgive me? Will you forgive me? Now, what I've learned to do is I need to shut up and stop digging a deeper hole after I apologize. Don't need to justify or explain why I did something. Just say, I'm sorry, for my harsh words, will you forgive me? And then I wait. Sometimes my wife forgives me in 3 seconds flat. Other times it's more like 72 hours. That's painful. Yet, hey, that's all it takes. It's simple. Okay, part B of holding yourself accountable is take 100% responsibility for you. Everything is your fault. Oh, I love this concept. People just love this. It can really aggravate them. If you blame others or circumstances for situations that you find yourself in, you become the victim. And victims, by definition, are powerless. You need to take control and stay the victor. Because when you're the victor, you control you. And the way this manifests itself in my life is by a story that happened this past week. Or it's been a few weeks now. Yet my wife was going in for shoulder surgery. Man, this week is going to suck. Surgery. I got all this stuff to do. I'm writing this bestseller. I got work to do. I got to take the kids to school. And now my wife's got surgery. What? This is so stupid. She gets injured and I got to do all this work. Hey, honey. Sweetie. I was thinking about this shoulder surgery you have tomorrow, and it dawned upon me that this injury happened in 1993, didn't it? Yeah. And it happened while you were on a ski jump messing around with your friends. And now my life is going to be inconvenienced because of your tomfoolery or Jane foolery, whatever you want to call it. This is just not fair. Well, yes. Did I mention sometimes I need to stop talking? But it's true. I was sitting there having a pity party for myself, as I often do. And my wife, amazing, can you imagine what she said? She quickly reminded me of several phone calls she made in 1993 to me. How she was down in Florida, and she had called me to invite me to come down and spend time with her. Yet because I was too busy with my work, training to become a professional water skier, and all the things that cluttered my life, because I was on channel We FM, that I failed to come down and be with her. And if it wasn't for me, if I would have came down, she wouldn't have been on that ski ramp, and she wouldn't have injured her shoulder in 1993, and she wouldn't be having surgery on Monday, which ended up being a conversation with her doctor after the surgery like this. How's my wife doing? We have 5 kids. How can she not drive for 6 weeks? Oh my goodness. Life is like a chicken on a trampoline with a 3-year-old. Moral of this story is everything is my fault. And it is. Take responsibility for everything in your life. You control you. Now the third part, the C part of accountability, is get coachable. Become fat That stands for faithful, available, and teachable. And what FAT means is that you believe. You've got to find something to believe in that's beyond you. And then once you find that, you need to become available to that. That means you have time to attend, to learn, and grow. Then you need to become teachable. How many of you have been there, done that, got the t-shirt? Yet you're trying to tell somebody what you know, the wisdom that you've accumulated, and yet they're sitting there and it's like a brick wall, and you can't get anything through, and they go out and do their stupidity. It's painful to watch, isn't it? Especially when it's family. Just talking to a lady the other day about her daughter and the abusive relationship her daughter is in. Yet she's not teachable. And that's going to affect generations. You need encouragement like you need air to breathe. You need to go and make ripples. Hold other people accountable, yet hold yourself accountable. Now let's talk about small next steps. Because how do you pay off $1 million? $1 at a time. I remember going and telling my wife about her situation. Remember that at the beginning of this story? And my wife told me 3 things. She said, Dale, you can either go sit in the corner over there, curl up in the fetal position and cry. You can build yourself a Back to the Future DeLorean car and go back and make some better choices. Or you can tighten your belt and clean up this mess. Do you know what I chose? Well, after I curled up in the fetal position and cried and realized that wasn't helping, then I knew I had no mechanical ability to make a car. That's just not in my skill set. I knew that I needed to break everything down into small next steps. My brother-in-law came over that I believe in January or February, and he said, Dale, he heard my sob story. He said, you need a plan. You need to get planned out on paper, on purpose, every month before it begins. Every dollar has a name, where it's going, and clean up this mess. And he introduced me to Dave Ramsey. And all this while, I'd been looking through all the success that I had. I had it all. I had time. I would go golfing 7 days a week. I mean, what would you do if you had all the time in the world? Me, I chose golfing. I was a terrible golfer in high school. As an adult, I sucked just as bad. Yet you'd be amazed at how low your score can go when you can golf 7 days a week. Any golfers out there? Let me explain to you what golfing is like. It's one place that I can go where my wife can't tell me what to do. My children are often ungrateful. God bless them. But they're not there. And when you hit a drive, 250 yards, down the center of the fairway, it's a spiritual experience. Oh, it's awesome. During that same time in my life, I would golf in the morning, come home for breakfast with the family, because family first. After breakfast, I would go on water ski, take my BlackBerry with me. I could do all my business stuff. I had surrounded myself with a great team. I was encouraging them, holding them accountable. Business was running better than ever. So I'd golf 7 days a week, spend time with my family, water ski 7 days a week. We had stuff beyond stuff. Have you ever heard of that show, VeggieTales? Madame Blueberry? Well, Madame Blueberry would sing each and every episode, I'm so blue, blue, blue. I'm so blue, I don't know what to do. Because every time she would buy something, it wouldn't be enough. I had a ski boat for water skiing with the family. I had another ski boat that I would trailer to go down to Glasscombe water and ski with the boys. And we had a pontoon boat for the weekend, so when friends and family came over, we would have a good time. We had a home on the lake. We ended up buying a second house on the lake because, you know, you need 2 homes next door to each other, right? Why? Because sometimes husbands, they can be annoying, and you want to get them out of the house. Number 2, do you have any ungrateful children? God bless them. Yet, when you need to enforce some accountability, you can send them next door. Just don't put any cable there. And number 3, we had the money to get it done. We had the nice SUVs, and I even achieved man's greatest dream. I bought my wife. Setting up some balloons here. This is going to be great. Okay, shut the garage. Let's set up these balloons right by the door. So that way when the garage door opens, this is our 10th anniversary. All the balloons are going to flow out of the garage. The red balloons matches the red gift that I gave her. Oh, this is going to be great. I can't wait to see her face. Here she comes. Oh, I can even see the neighbors watching. This is going to be so cool. Garage door opens. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Oh, I just bought my wife a brand new red Audi convertible. Every man's dream. We had it all. Now, I've since learned the real reason why I bought her that red convertible was more for my ego than anything else, yet it was just special. Yeah. And then I had confidence. Because at this time, remember I mentioned the Midas touch? We had built our business into 12 locations, 146 team members, $4 million a year in revenue. I was elected to city council and county board. Nothing was going wrong. Nothing had ever gone wrong. It was truly better than I deserve. Now, you know that I lost $1 million. And the way I paid it back was breaking it down into small next steps. I'm not sure what your goal, dream, or passion is, but the key to staying committed and holding yourself accountable is encouragement, accountability. And then you break it down into small next steps to get it done. Whether it's paying off $1 million, $1 at a time, whether it's writing your first New York Times bestseller, where you write 3 paragraphs a day. Over time, remember, success goes up, and then it loops back in a curly cool failure. Up, failure, up, failure, 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 up, failure, 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 up, failure, up. And overnight, you're a success because of the daily things you did, the small next steps that you do each and every day. Now, what are some of these small next steps that you can do? You can take 4 small next steps after you add in encouragement in your life. Encourage others. Hold others accountable. Hold yourself accountable. Start thinking about how you can break things up into small next steps. And then you need 4 small steps to get what you want. And that is goals that fire you up. You want to be fully present in any activity you do. All your energy and might into that. You want to keep it simple. You're really not going to do anything fancy other than what you can do repeatedly with excellence. And then lastly, you want to have radical mental care. Visiting blogs like this, reading and hanging around successful people that encourage you, hold you accountable, and help you break things down into small next steps are critical to get what you want. I'll expand on those on a later day. I want to leave you with this thought. You heard about my story, where things were not as they seem. They never are. People are all the same. If they have money, they have some other issue. If they have great relationships, maybe they don't have any money. Or perhaps they have everything, yet their fitness is bad. Yet we all put on this false front that everything is perfect. Ask a person how they're doing, what are they going to tell you? Fine. Yep. My dog just died. I'm going bankrupt and my wife is